Yeah, so I want to talk about what was told to me by this guy, and he's one of the tribe people, the Little Hat tribe people, and when I ran into him, I was running into a lot of like anomalous encounters. There were gang stalkers, but there was a very paranormal, high level of paranormal, effect in my interactions. This is not schizophrenia. It is actually paranormal. We are in a synthetic world. The people who want to, dispel all things as, whatever, conspiracy theory or, like all the mounds that we see all over the place. I guess the Smithsonian comes in, covers it all up, and hides all evidence, supposedly. But I have to say, very legitimately, that's what's going on. That's the case of it. Because I'm going to describe like some of how that is operating, and from my experience. So your soul has locality, just like in the Matrix in the movie. There's like you're in a little pod and you're plugged in. So that locality is your soul, like that. Your soul is this DNA computer interface. Okay. I'm saying definitely the case. Just from a technological perspective, your soul is like a DNA computer thing that has locality. And then there's that silver cord concept to your material manifest body, okay? And experiencing, paranormal dream activity, lucid dreaming, and all kinds of things. Like lucid dreaming, I was so regularly, lucid dreaming, where I can like sense abstract things. When you're waking from a lucid dream, you kind of like, your dream doesn't actually have sense sometimes. Sometimes it's like feelings and abstractions. People have experienced this. They're like, what? There was something. Or you'd be having something in a dream, like in your dream state it was making sense, but then when you wake up you go, that doesn't make sense. And that's because you're kind of like traveling through this data fields of relation, all kinds of different time options and this, and there's probably some kind of doppelganger stuff going on with your material form. Lots of that is at play. There's lots of different permutations of on that idea that are being discussed. You can research it. But from my experience lucid dreaming, like I can feel these abstract objects, and then like in the dream state they represent this. When I'm coming into the material state, they manifest in different things. And sometimes it's people, and you can almost like in your dream, hold on to this abstract with your hands in your dream, hold on to it, and you wake up and you're holding a person. You go, whoa, what are you doing here? Like seriously, that's the kind of interaction lucid dreaming and material consciousness has. So with that in mind, there's a lot to say, there's a lot to expand on that, but that's the fact. Your soul has locality, and your material world is a plasmatic experience that's more ephemeral. This is passing, where your soul locality is more everlasting. Okay, and that's just the way the world is. But let me describe what this Little Hat guy was saying. He said he's a Campion. He said he's half demon. Okay, and he said his family was despicable. He hated his family. They were just a bunch of petty, and really these are like welfare collecting criminal people, okay? These are Little Hat people. I want to say that this is a very common thing. It's very common for Little Hat people to be just criminal-minded and very much into magic and witchcraft and occultism. That's the rule. That's not the exception. That's the rule. If you're dealing with Little Hat people, it's all about satanic witchcraft. That's the rule. No exception to that. There's an absolute hard rule. You'll see that like in more polite society, the Little Hat people are all involved in like CIA and tax collecting and gossip and, not necessarily the paranormal and supernatural, but there's no doubt that family is completely linked to paranormal and supernatural. I'll give you an example. There's a guy, I watched his video yesterday about how the elect Israelis are going to win God's, plan. And his history, he grew up where I grew up, in Garfield, New Jersey. Okay, and he describes him going to the mountain and finding like an altar and ritual sacrifice taking place up there, is what he said. And by the way, it's the Little Hat people doing that. It's the Little Hat people doing the little ritual sacrifice up there. I know the mountain, if I'm correct in where it is, and I'm pretty certain I am, from Garfield. The mountain that he's talking about is no other place but the place where they're doing the ritual. The Little Hat people are doing the ritual. So I know the rock too because I have looked at it. I probably made a video of it. Anyway, that's not there's a lot of demons up there. By the way, there's stories of people seeing demons up there. Okay, so, some security guy saw some demon flying bat thing up there, which I had seen too. So yeah, that's the kind of spirits his ministry is involved in. Okay, so if you look at Satan as the god of the world, the Luciferian worldview, the Antichrist, false Christians are servants of Lucifer, Satan. That is what they are. So this Campion guy, he told me he saw Lucifer. He met Lucifer. Whether that's true or not, I met several people who have told me similar stories. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But what I do know is that I suspected him being a Campion before he told me, because he had one slitted eye, like vaguely. You can see, like, am I seeing this right? And sometimes you see people that it seems like they have slitted eyes. It's kind of like a hazy vagueness. Here, it was just the one, and I'm like, I didn't say anything to him, but I was like, noticing that. And he mentioned to me that he's a Campion. And from my understanding of Campions, they have like one hoofed foot, they have like one horn, and apparently one slitted eye. But what he had told me was that he entered into this world conscious. So he's from that world view. I mean, where the soul has locality, he's like a reptilian half-breed that has consciousness coming into the plasmatic experience. Okay? So that's what we're dealing with as the Viper's brood, the Nephilim. And they don't want human civility to run the matrix. They want to be the ones running the matrix. So the souls with the locality, they want to be farming this world and keeping things under their power, and that's what we're dealing with. One other thing he had told me, from his interpretation, what he was saying, because I was talking about shadow people, which I have seen relatively recently when I met him, in the proximity of me meeting him, I had a very clear encounter with one. But afterwards, I had seen one shadow person go into one person, and he turned to me, started growling, and another shadow person went into another person, and that person started yelling at me. They just turned around and looked right at me. Like, I didn't do anything. I didn't signal these people, and one guy was quite distant from me. But I did see the shadow people pretty clearly. It's dark out, but it's a shadow, and I saw it, and so that was very clear that there's definitely some kind of entities walking around. It's not my shadow emanating. That's what the satanic world is trying to tell people. It's like, you are the pharaoh of existence. You're just imagining your experience. That's a lie. That's a lie. It's more arbitrary than that. There's more details to it. And the gospel tells you otherwise too. The gospel is the opposite of their message. It really is. We can go through the nitty-gritty of that, but that's pretty much a censored topic. You're going to be with violent people who are going to censor you. That's what the deal is. But he said, the Campion told me, he said those were like base level 1 entities, that they're just evolving into, which I don't buy into, but it is like some manipulator from that locality of the soul manipulating the plasmasphere. So from his perspective, he's saying that's like a level 1 manipulator, and it's going to gain power through its conquest and manipulations. And then you look at the cities and the countries being extensions of that.